UP consists of an acronym, and that is playing, watching, reading, and we're at the reading component of this week's Power Up with our amazing guest, Dante Basco. If you've seen the 2 previous videos of this one, or if you're in the live chat, what an amazing experience we've all shared together so far. This has been so rewarding. I'm so looking forward to hearing, Dante, what you are currently reading. Hit us with it.
Wow, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I love that you guys have a reading section of this whole thing. It's awesome.
You know how you were saying you do a movie club? I do a book club as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm really about that. And it's like a whole new thing now because of Audible. So there's like a different medium that you can start listening to books as well as reading books. Yeah,
totally.
And we consider audiobooks part of the reading portion of this show as well. So whether you're reading or listening at all, and comic books, all of that counts.
But it just occurred to me the power of PWR.
Hey, there you go.
You guys are so smart.
Yeah.
I love that.
But are you a Hunger Games fan?
A big Hunger Games fan. I read all the books previously to this. I didn't even know this book was coming out. I was like walking through a Target, and then I was like, that's the Mockingbird. And then I was like, oh, they came out another book, so I picked it up and just started reading it right away. I'm like in chapter 10 right now, and I didn't know what. I was like, I wonder what this is about. And it's the precursor to the whole Hunger Games. I didn't even know it's Coriolanus Snow. It's Snow's. I can't pronounce his name. It's Snow's story. His origin story.
Cornelius?
Coriolanus or Cori. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm fact checking. Cue fact check. Here we go.
I just call him
when
Snow.
I read long names, I do exactly that, and I'm like, I know the first letter. I know a couple of letters in the middle. I don't say it out loud. Like McGonagall. Yeah. Every time I would read Professor McGonagall, I'd be like, oh yeah, Professor McGonagall.
It is spelled Coriolanus.
Coriolanus.
But I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Now I'm looking up pronunciation guys.
This whole time.
Yeah, it's Donald Sutherland's character. It's Snow. It's the evil Snow, but he's like the hero of this book. At least so far, he's very heroic, or he's like the protagonist.
But this is the thing about a great villain. A lot of the time there's shades of gray, and they don't actually think that they're bad. They think that what they are doing is good.
Right. Also in life. That's the thing you come to realize in life, everybody. No one's actually bad. They're just trying to do what's right. It's just what's right for them. It's not what's right for you.
Yes. I think Thanos actually hit the nail on the head with that, where he was just like, this needs to happen, but I'm going to wipe out half the population. And you're like,
Thanos.
But don't. Yeah, but it's also that well, I had this analogy recently. I was chatting with someone, and they call it the forest or the trees. And it's like, if you're in that position where it's like, the forest is people, the population, and individual trees that make up the forest are the people that you know. So it's like, would you save a few trees knowing that the forest would wipe out? Or would you save the forest knowing that the trees had to be cut down?
There's a thing called the greatest good for the greatest number. That's what you're supposed to do. I think politically, like the greatest good for the greatest number of people.
But if someone's like, I will save 10 people's lives, but I'm going to kill your mum, could you actually be like, sounds great? Morally, that's what I have to accept. You'd be like, no way. I don't know these 10 people. That's my mama.
I mean,
that's my mama.
That's honestly the whole, the original Last of Us dilemma. That dilemma, and it's Thanos' dilemma to some degree.
That's Thanos' dilemma. It's easy to see when it's like a big, the Jesus Christ thing. Like, yeah, I'll die to save everyone. Why not? But it's like, when you die to save those 10 people, I don't know those 10 people, but
are they worth it? Yeah.
It's only those 10 people. What about the whole species? I'm good for that.
That's why I realized during a zombie apocalypse, I would probably have to sacrifice myself to save the rest of the group, and I'm okay with that. If that means that they get to live. Well, I can't cook. I'm not a medic. I've never held a gun in my life. What good am I in a zombie apocalypse except my life?
You play video games.
Maude, what were you saying your role would be? What are you doing, Maude?
I would sacrifice myself to save the group, or I would be a getaway driver. But, gas is a precious commodity. I think about this a little bit too much, guys. Like, for a zombie apocalypse, I guess we're heading there more than ever. Okay, now the conversation's valid again.
The pandemic has a lot of Thanos stuff going on within the whole pandemic situation. It's very Thanosian. But you're an Aussie. The most of the Aussies I know could all do a lot of outdoor stuff. Like
Remember when I said the path was in front of me, the fork in the road, where I could choose to put gaming aside or I could continue it? When you continue gaming, you have to sacrifice on other life skills and outdoor things, and I did.
Whenever you meet anyone, guy or girl in Australia, they want to do something outdoorsy. They want to swim, they want to ride a horse, they want to do something with a knife. Like, what are we doing? And you're totally not. You're like you're very LA Aussie. Not a bad way. I'm LA too.
I recently killed a fly with my bare hands, and I didn't flinch. That's normal for me.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. All right. So
can you ride a horse?
Yes.
See, that's very Australian. Very Aussie.
That's very cool.
Swim. Of course you could swim.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very good swimmer.
Not very good. I can get from A to B without dying. It's more graceful than a doggy paddle.
That's
very
good.
long.
When I can confirm, when I went to, and I know New Zealand is different, but close in world scope and, physical distance. When I went to New Zealand on my honeymoon.
Kiwis, Aussies, same thing.
When I don't let them hear you say that. When I went to New Zealand on my honeymoon, everyone did everything outdoors, and like all the stuff to do was outdoors. And even though I grew up being like a very outdoorsy kid, I'm not really, as an adult, I'm too LA now. I'm not really a super outdoorsy adult. So it was really funny on our honeymoon because it was like everything to do was adventure centric and outdoors. And I was like, ooh, not sure.
That's a lot of open space.
But I did try zorbing. Have either of you ever been zorbing?
I think so.
What is that? Explain it.
Giant
roll
plastic
down
ball.
the hill in a giant hamster ball.
Yeah. I've done it. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I won't ever skydive or bungee jump though. Like I just don't.
No, I won't do that either.
I don't feel the need to nearly die. Like
I skydove on a second date.
On a second date.
This girl wanted to have a near-death experience with me.
I would be too afraid I would pee my pants in front of a date.
It was crazy. It was like everything in your body does not want to jump out of that plane. But once you go, it's pretty fun.
Like mini golf,
She was like, "You want to go skydiving?" I'm like, "Sure. This is exciting. Let's go."
Yeah, but way to up the bar. Like, what's third date? Do you want to go, go fishing and find our own dinner?
Exactly, right? Go. I know, but there's nothing else. That was the most adrenaline rush situation, second date, ever. It's crazy.
So how did the relationship go after that?
We're not dating anymore, but she's a sweet girl.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't like, oh yeah, and then it peaked at that and it went all downhill from there. It was okay.
No, it was good. It was cool. She was cool. I was, it's me. I was in a weird time in my life.
That's a good story. Oh no, that's power down. I will save that one and stop projecting shit that's happening in my life.
Hey-o.
If you're up to chapter 10, is there a good setting? Are you kind of back into the Hunger Games universe with this book? Like last question.
Yes. The thing is, I went in I didn't even read the back of the book. I just went in. I don't know what I'm doing. And I thought it was happening after the whole thing. And I thought the Snow they were talking about was like Snow's great grandson or something that's trying to build himself back up from like the whole rebellion. But then I realized somewhere like, oh, I had to go on the internet and go, hold on a second, is this the same Snow, the same name? I was like, oh. And then I realized this is the origin story, and it talks about how the Hunger Games got created. So it's really, I really love the world. I love reading books that are like world building. I love this and, of course, Harry Potter and.
What house are you in?
Gryffindor.
Same.
Yes. Trish, what are you, Trish?
Ravenclaw.
Trish, what are you? Of course. You haven't had a movie or nothing. What's going on?
I'm probably the nerdiest friend you have. Of course I'm in Ravenclaw.
I'm a Gryffindor. I have a whole theory about Gryffindor and Fire Nation. Same colors.
Oh, I had this theory as well. I went through it all. And apparently, Gryffindor is fire.
Yeah.
Because Slytherin is water.
Water, yeah.
And then Hufflepuff was air, and Ravenclaw was earth. Oh man, I did a tweet about it, and it ended up being a massive conversation.
Really? Yeah. But also, of course, Fire Nation.
I might do a TikTok on it.
But
actually.
Gryffindor has that flip coin when you read the curse. When you read the curse, sounds like the Gryffindors and the Slytherins are the flip side of the same coin. It's just who depends who wins, how you look at what's
Literally,
good
lion's
and what's
head and a
bad.
serpent's tail. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but also, I mean, of course, you know, Fire Nation is House Lannister, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and you're going Game of Thrones with it? This is the kind of conversations that I have all the time.
Yes, yes.
House Tyrell is
What's your Thrones house, everybody?
Lannister.
Ooh.
House Lannister.
Tyrell.
Oh, Tyrell. I can see that.
Yeah. Cups of tea in the garden. Are you kidding?
I know.
Yeah.
You guys lost everything. Yep.
Sounds about right.
Went down. Wasn't beautiful garden though. Beautiful
garden. Oh,
I love a rooftop bar. I mean, a rooftop bar. Nothing better than a rooftop bar.
That's it. I don't
What's
know.
your house, Trish? What's your house?
I mean, part of me always said Stark because I'm like too good for my own good. Like I get in my own way a lot of times because I want to choose the right thing, which isn't necessarily always the right thing.
Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head.
I'd like to say maybe House Tully.
Oh, okay. Tullys. Yeah, the Tullys. I got this conversation with Jack DeSena, and he went deep because he read all the books and he started going deep in it.
I love it.
One crazy story when we were in Australia and New Zealand, and we were on a Comic-Con tour, right? And we were there. We were there with the Critical Role guys. I don't know if you know Travis and Laura. And we're all in the van together. And Jason Momoa and the Battlestar Galactica guys were in there. And we're in the van, and he gets a phone call, and he books the job. And the job, he's like, I play this Barbarian King guy for this new HBO show, and he's talking about it. And Travis and Laura are freaking out because they read the books. They know the books. And the rest of us had no idea, like, what is he talking about? Like, cool. Like, you look like you'd be a Barbarian King. That's cool, man. He's like, this is great.
And they're like, he's called Drogo.
Yeah. And it's Game of Thrones.
Far out.
And Travis was never freaking out. And we, of course, we didn't know what the heck they were talking about. Perfect casting for.
So that's what I was going to ask you, Dante. I was going to ask you for the Hunger Games, but this goes for Game of Thrones too. Did you read any of the books prior to the stories being put on screen? Yes.
I mean, Hunger Games, I read all the books.
Okay.
Before I watched. I think they're all out, or at least the two of them were out before. Hunger Games. I mean, Game of Thrones. I haven't read the book. I love the show so much that I just watched. I should go back and read the books.
Books are great. A lot more characters, and Danny's a lot younger, so some of the scenes, like, they go a little bit too far.
Weird.
In fact, all of the characters are a lot younger, which makes things that happen to the Stark children very different feeling as well. So I understand why, for screen reasons and for casting children actors, they had to age. I think they're all aged up 2 or 3 years. Everybody's essentially aged up 2 or 3 years, but like, what happens to Bran, what happens to Sansa, all of that's way more disturbing when you take 2 or 3 years off how old they are.
Right. Except for in those days, that was age is probably the regular age because they're probably going to die at 25.
That's it. 25 is like senile. Yeah. There was a scene like about the war where someone was like abandoned and they had, I think, gotten infested by worms. And it was written in such graphic detail that I retched, reading it. Yeah. So have fun with that one. It's going to be a great time.
I will tell you, though, as someone who read all the books that were available before the series came out, there were things that I think the books do better and things that I thought the series did better. So there is certainly still value if you've seen the series. And
how do you, just quick note, how did you feel about the end of the series?
I hated it.
I cried for so long. I cried hard after the finale because I championed it. Seriously, still halfway through. Like when the Battle of Winterfell happened, I was like, yeah, but guys, it's not over yet. It can still turn around. And then at the end, I mourned the show.
I was a little bit disturbed by the ending of it too. I was just like, and I got into some discussion with a lot of people about it because I love the show. We all love the show.
Right.
And one of the biggest things that I remember feeling about it is like, why are the 2 strongest women in the show just crazy? Like Cersei and Dany, what? Like, how is they just crazy women that got to be killed? We got to kill both of them. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
And Bran rolls in, and the sunglasses come down, and he's like, I guess I'm king. And you're like, what?
After the Bells episode, which was the second to last episode of the series, as soon as the credits started rolling, I think I just tweeted out, like, I'm mad at everything right now.
Yeah.
And that's how I stayed.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the crying reaction that you had, Maude. I was just irate. And so by the time I got to the finale, I was like, I don't even care. I know where this is going, and I don't even care. I don't even care what happens.
Like, I don't want you to be a liar or nothing, but no one saw you kill Janny. The dragon just took her. We don't even know she's dead. Like, where did she go? Like, I don't know. She jumped on the back of the dragon. I'm going to run the kingdom. She'll be back. She went with the dragon. I don't know where they went. No one saw nothing. It's a war.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Well,
so weird. Then he just goes back to the wall.
We're all hoping for George to finish the books and give us the ending to the story that you know makes more sense and that we deserve. And I don't mean that in change the things necessarily that happened in the ending, but at least tell us how they got there. Show us some kind of real journey to how that happened.
Story, and Bryn has a great story. Bryn wasn't even in like 4 seasons.
Yes.
How great was that story?
George R.R. Martin actually gave the public a due date, saying that if the book isn't out by July 29, he can actually, like, we can allowed to imprison him, and that was 2 days ago. So, George, buddy, it's even in lockdown. Like, that's when you get
George
shit
on the
done.
run. George is on the run.
Anyway, time for Bombs Away Q&A questions. Let's bring Amy Cassandra Martinez back in to ask those. One's from Patreon, one's from Twitch. Lovely to have you, Amy. What's the question we got?
Thank you so much. So this one's from Adam Tulos asking, favorite book series you would like to see adapted to live action film or animation?
You sound like a big reader if you're reading things like Hunger Games before they come out.
I'm not a big reader. I'm like a basic reader. I like to read like bestseller stuff that I know is pretty good. I mean, a lot of stuff I read kind of became films. Some not, or series. I don't know. I mean, turn me on to something new. I mean, some things I'm not really. I mean, I loved Ready Player One as a book, and I wasn't in love with the film when it came out. You know, like, ugh. But I can't think of any series that I've read right now that haven't already become series. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, the market as well. Like, there are people that are paid to read every book that comes out, and then if something remotely could be good, studios will buy the rights to it. It's snapped up like that.
Really?
For exactly
YA is the young adults like so hot right now for sure.
They're trying to get the next Harry Potter. By Warner Brothers purchasing Harry Potter, it's saved their company. It's like basically made up something stupid like 50% of their revenue. I kind of want someone to fact check that now, but like one book franchise just made this company phenomenal in that way.
That's
like
wild.
Such big earnings. Yeah, so I think everyone's just waiting for the next Harry Potter, which is why books are being made all the time. Like Artemis Fowl, what a crap film, but they already planning to make all of them.
There's so many you can tell. There's that whole thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna do Harry Potter like kind of thing sometimes, and we do. I mean, I too. Like even the Hunger Games, you kind of like compare it to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You're like, how was their world? Did they build their world right? Was it like how?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It all goes back to Lucas to me. It all goes back to Lucas in Star Wars.
What's going to be the next Star Wars? Yeah, that was the one
great
where
thing.
The merchandising made the company all the money. You know, toys, all that. Have we got
thing that happened with Avatar because it became like one of those worlds that were like so detailed that it felt real. Like, can we get that?
But also, the big thing about that is that when you finished Avatar, you weren't done with the series. You wanted more. Like, the world was so impactful and it was such a nourishment that, like, you just wanted anything else almost. Like, tell me any story in this world because I just need it.
That's the wild thing. When it became, like, that feeling where, like, it became this phenomenal hit, I remember being, you know, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, a big Harry Potter fan and everything. You're like, am I part of, like, the next, like, thing like that? Like, what? Like, this is like the new, it's like Star Wars' thing for this new generation. And then you're like, and then your character becomes popular. And you're like, what? Am I Han Solo? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Things happen. Like, it just blows your mind because none of us entered that project with any of those aspirations. At least the actors, I'm sure Mike and Brian had some other aspirations, knew what things were going on. For us, we were just like, me and Nate Whitman just came off we were in the middle of doing American Dragon Jake Long. We did the last season of American Dragon Jake Long was the same as the first season of Avatar. and we were supposed to do another thing with it, but then Disney got mad because we were also on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, and they're very practiced about their branding like that. I know.
Yeah, they were not happy.
Have we got a Twitch question, Amy? Because this will wrap things up.
So this one is from Nathan Swap. Since you have written one book, would you like to write another, fiction or nonfiction?
I don't know. I mean, I am a writer, so I write a lot of poetry, and I've had some books of poetry published. I'm sure I'll do more of that. And I write scripts. The film I just directed, I co-wrote, and I've written probably 3-4 scripts now that got produced. I think 3 of them, and then and I wrote a play which I love called Midnight Makeout Session, which may become a movie someday. But I hope to get back out there on the theater when we're all out of the pandemic.
Where has the play been put up? Has it been put up in LA?
Yeah, we did a few small stints, like runs in LA, and it sold out every night. Every night. It's called the Midnight Makeout Session. It's like about these friends that are,
I'm aware of those.
Kind of like over their promiscuous. They're in their 30s, they're over their promiscuous kind of 20s, and they're trying to get back to the romance of their first kiss. And they decide to put together a midnight makeout session, like 8th grade dance. Like we come up with all these rules, and they throw it in their bar, their local bar that's closed one night, and it becomes this whole thing about guys and girls and acting girls out, and what does that mean? And it's all about making out, slow dancing, and slow jam tapes, like mixtapes.
Pisces, that's very romantic.
Yeah, it's romantic. Yeah, but the first time we break the fourth wall. By the end of the play, everyone that came to the play, it's like has to adhere to the rules of the midnight makeout session, and the whole thing. By the end of it, my whole goal is to get everybody in the play to make out with each other and slow dance, and it happened. Like literally, the first night we did it, half the audience went up on stage slow dancing, and we just ended the play and just let the DJ spin for another hour.
Aww.
Yeah, so it's the midnight makeout session.
In Australia, the term is called pashing. When you pash someone, it's short for passionate kiss, but that's what a makeout. Pashing. Yeah, P-A-S-H-I-N-G. So if you pash for too long, especially with a guy, you'll get pash rash, and that's when
you get pash rash.
Yeah, pash rash.
I know. I did a movie called "But I'm a Cheerleader" where I had to make out with a guy, and me and Kip Pardue got pash rash. I didn't realize how sound peppery the situation was for you girls out there.
It's a real.
Whole new respect. It's serious. And we were like red all over. I'm like, damn, this guy's manhandling me. It's too much. I don't know how y'all deal with that. It's crazy.
You just have to, if that's what you're into, you just have to be into it.
You gotta just be into it.
You just gotta be into it.
Is it softer if it grows out?
A little bit, yeah. It's just it's more the stubble that really grates, on. I don't like clean shaven either. So like more of a facial hair is key.
But everybody has their preference. Everyone's preference is different.
That is true. No one likes pash rash. No one likes pash rash. I just love that it's got a great name because it just says everything you need to know about it. Chat says that your play sounds absolutely amazing as well, and that they need to see this. So that's lovely. I'm glad we got to learn more about that too. But that actually concludes Power Up for this week. We got through playing, watching, reading. We had a lovely chat with Dante. Thank you so much for sharing these amazing stories. Thank you for letting me fangirl. Thank you for chatting about Zuko and Rufio and these incredible characters and the profound impact that they've not only had on you, but the world. I really appreciate you spending time with us. And don't forget, Dante has a stream after this, so head over, go to Honor Society, give that a follow.
Yes, and we're starting book 2.
What time is that, Dante? That's in, a half an hour?
Yeah, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're raising money for COVID frontliners, so just amazing. Come, watch, donate $1, and have a few drinks with us. I'm drinking White Claw.
Okay.
What's your favorite flavor?
Huh?
What's your favorite flavor?
I think today I'm doing watermelon and tangerine.
I saw the new flavors and I want to do that because it had mango, but I just think
mango's good.
Mango's
good. Tangerine's good. Watermelon's great. My go-tos are like ruby grapefruit and the black cherry for sure.
That's it. That's where it's at. Not lime. No one likes lime.
No one
Anyway.
likes lime.
No one likes lime.
I'm gonna throw that lime out the window. Don't put that in the variety pack. Keep that. Save that lime.
Am I missing out on life because I don't drink that stuff?
I drank 3 White Claws last night because of one bad tweet, and I felt fine this morning.
How many White Claws did you drink?
Just three.
Over a bad tweet?
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
I know.
It happens to all of us.
There's
It's
that
like
one that just finds the chink in the armor.
You're just scrolling through too, like not even doing nothing, then someone says something that ruins your day. Like, I want to ruin my day.
It's just that fine little, everything else is just like ding, 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 and then that one finds the little weakness, and you're like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Maude.
We're all human.
About it in Power Down. That's all
we
good.
are all human, and I'm throwing in chat right now the link to Honor Society, which is where you can watch Dante's stream that starts, no joke, in a half an hour. And thank you to Catnip Ninja, who gifted a sub to Honor Society. So Honor Society is now officially a part of the Dragon Rider community, and you can go check them out in a half hour, which is awesome.
And also Thursday nights, you've got Artificial on Twitch as well. Did you say that was at 5 o'clock?
At 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes.
Fantastic. So you can actually get involved and help navigate the narrative on that story every single week, and actually see what revolutionary content is coming out on Twitch, and it's Emmy winning as well. What else do we want to plug? Movie Club.
We're talking on Cinema Club on Monday. We're talking about Princess Bride, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my personal IG Live.
Fantastic. Cool.
If you put on that cosplay, you could show up and drop some knowledge to the fans about this movie.
Ooh, make it happen.
There's so many knowledgeable people out there that watch the show. I learn new stuff about these movies all the time. So crazy.
Have you read Carrie Ellis's book about it?
I have not. I should read it. I would love to read that. I've actually done a con with him, and he's so nice.
He's
Very
so nice.
Guy.
We did a book club with him, and he signed the copy, and I had to have a cry in the green room afterwards. Yeah, so good. Because he's the kind of guy who'd be like, Maude, oh, that's such a great question, Maude. Thank you so much for asking it. And you're like, that's okay. Oh, dear. Thank you again, though. We'll wrap things up here. 30 minutes time if you're watching this live. Make sure you're heading over to the Honor Society as well and give that one a follow. Dante, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much. I miss you guys. I hope to see you guys in real life sometime soon.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Thank you.
Love. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.